Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Brothers, may I have your attention, please? Nobody listening. No, is there? Brother, may I request to all brothers, please come forward and please stop hugging now. So please pay your attention to the procedure. It's already 8 o'clock and we have literally 1.5 hours. So please, the brother who's sitting right at the end, please come forward and sit right in front of me, please. As usual, we're going to begin the procedure by reciting Quran, and for this, may I call Brother Karush to come on a mimbar. Babaji Balantar Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولو أن أهل الكتاب آمنوا واتقوا لكفرنا عنهم سيئاتهم ولأدخلناهم جنات النعيم ولو أنهم أقاموا التوراة والإنجيل وما أنزل إليهم من ربهم لأكلوا من فوقهم ومن تحت أرجلهم منهم أمة مقتصدة وكثير منهم ساء ما يعملون يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك وإن لم تفعل فما بلغت رسالته والله يعصمك من الناس إن الله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين قل يا أهل الكتاب لستم على شيء حتى تقيموا التوراة والإنجيل وما أنزل إليكم من ربكم وليزيدن كثيرا منهم ما أنزل إليك من ربك طغيانا وكفرا فلا تأس على قوم الكافرين إن الذين آمنوا والذين هادوا والصابئون والنصارى من من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وعمل صالحا فلا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون لقد أخذنا ميثاق بني إسرائيل وأرسلنا إليهم رسلا كلما جاءهم رسول بما لا تهوى أنفسهم فريقا كذبوا وفريقا يقتلون وحسبوا أن لا تكون فتنة فعموا وصموا ثم تاب الله عليهم ثم عموا وصموا كثير منهم والله بصير بما يعملون لقد كفر الذين قالوا إن الله هو المسيح ابن مريم وقال المسيح يا بني إسرائيل اعبدوا الله ربي وربكم إنه من يشرك بالله فقد حرم الله عليه الجنة ومأواه النار وما للظالمين من أنصار لقد كفر الذين قالوا إن الله ثالث ثلاثة وما من إله إلا إله واحد وإن لم ينتهوا عما يقولون ليمسن الذين كفروا منهم عذاب أليم أفلا يتوبون إلى الله ويستغفرونه والله غفور رحيم ما المسيح ابن مريم إلا رسول قد خلت من قبله الرسل وأمه صديقة كانا يأكلون الطعام انظر كيف نبين لهم الآيات ثم انظر أنا يؤفكون قل أتعبدون من دون الله ما لا يملك لكم ضرا ولا نفعا والله هو السميع العليم قل يا أهل الكتاب لا تغلوا في دينكم غير الحق ولا تتبعوا أهواء قوم قد ضلوا من قبل وأضلوا كثيرا وضلوا عن سواء السبيل لعن الذين كفروا من بني إسرائيل على لسان داود وعيسى بن مريم ذلك بما عصوا وكانوا يعتدون كانوا لا يتناهون عن منكر فعلوه لبئس ما كانوا يفعلون ترى كثيرا منهم يتولون الذين كفروا لبئس ما قدمت لهم أنفسهم أن سخط الله عليهم وفي العذاب هم خالدون ولو كانوا يؤمنون بالله والنبي وما أنزل إليه ما اتخذوهم أولياء ولكن كثيرا منهم فاسقون صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات.
All together, loud salawat, please.
Baba de Bulantar Salawat. Brothers and sisters, we all having get together here for a very special reason. And I call it a very special reason because unity in Muslim Ummah is of prime importance for us. People today belong to different school of thought. They're coming to our Imam Barga. We're going to have iftari together. And that might not be the conclusive or might not be achieving the great goal, but at least we're coming close to each other. We try to understand each other's point of view. And for this reason, brother Umar Farooq, has actually arranged all this. So Imam Barga, management of Hussainia, have assisted him. I would like to extend our heartiest thanks to all the participants who have come here to make this happen. And now I would like to call Umar Farooq for opening speech. May I call you to come on a member, please? Bawaze Bulantar Salawat. That's fine.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. وقال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد وقوله الحق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا وكنتم على شفا حفرة من النار فأنقذكم منها كذلك يبين الله لكم آياته لعلكم تهتدون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. The verse from Surah Ali Imran, verse number 103 that I've just recited, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "And hold fast by the covenant of Allah all together and do not be disunited. And remember the favor of Allah on you when you were enemies, then He united your hearts. So by His favor you became brethren, and you were on the brink of the pit of fire. Then He saved you from it. First does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make clear to you His communications, that you may follow the right way." And I think this is the crux of this event, really, you could say. The principle of Islamic unity as identified in this verse of the Quran. I just want to give you all a bit of background information to this event before we move on, and then I'll let the guest speakers continue. I remember a year ago, myself and my colleague over there, Mubin, we were sat in Ramadan having iftari together, and him being the head of the British Muslim Youth Organization, we said, "Look, Mubin, we really need to do something about Islamic unity. You know, we feel there's a lack of Shia Sunni unity programs, especially in the north of England and collectively as a whole of England." And, you know, we had a long discussion, but eventually other things came up, and we ended up not doing anything really on that note. And then until the vandalism that sadly took place at this Islamic center, where, you know, you saw somebody graffiti the walls with takfiri, sectarian rhetoric, we then again had a conversation. I saw him at a Fatiha, actually. One of his relatives passed away, and we then spoke of the news. We then said again, there's a greater need for Islamic unity again. And then finally, the pinnacle, you could say, is when the attacks in Kuwait happened, Tunisia and France. I'm just going to read out to you a text message I actually received from a colleague of mine in Kuwait an hour after the attack took place, just to put you in perspective the emotions of the people at the time. So this was the comment from the colleague. "Omar, I can't believe it. I have lost people in my family. I'm heartbroken. One of them is 16 years old. My uncle is injured, and I know people in a very dangerous situation. and I don't know if they can make it. This was an hour after that attack. And I remember we had then spoken, we said, look, we're going to have to do something now because this situation in the Islamic world is just reaching turmoil. After what's happened in Yemen, in Syria, in Iraq, in Pakistan, in Bahrain, it's reaching a point now where we don't want this problem to be reaching the shores of the United Kingdom. And we've already seen in Bradford, we've had, people who've been deceived to join groups such as the self-proclaimed IS, the so-called Islamic State, or Daesh, as they are commonly referred to. So it's a problem that our community really has to address. I just want to read to you a quote by Sheikh Habib Ali al-Jifri, a famous Sunni scholar from Yemen. And he addresses the Muslims of Iraq, actually, but I feel this quote applies to us all. He says, "To my Sunni and Shia Muslim brothers in Iraq, your true enemy is the one who is able to convince you that you are the enemies of each other." Now, that itself requires, I think, a sermon to even dissect that sort of quote because it's deep. But, as the Samahta Sheikh Habib Ali al-Jifri has said, we are not enemies. We have got so much in common. In fact, we've got more in common than we have where we have differences. And therefore, we should focus on the commonalities. These differences between the schools of Islamic thought have existed for 1,400 years. They're not going to go away tomorrow, regardless of what anybody else says. So it's imperative we come together, we understand each other, we understand the differences, not necessarily agreeing upon them. And we have more events like this to have prosperity in the Muslim world, in the country we live in. We're British Muslims first and foremost, of course, and that our future generations to come can have prosperity. And, I hope that you all benefit from today's talk. I thank you all for coming. And inshallah, there's many more to come in the future. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Bawazi Bulantar Salawat. Bawazi Bulantar Salawat. I'm just extending what Umar Farooq said, that we're showing the unity at the moment. But actually, every year, whenever we say our prayers, we do show the unity. And the Islam, actually, the whole stress is on the unity. If reading namaz on your own is far more inferior than reading namaz in a jamaat. Reading Eidan in some fiqh might not be wajib reading the Eid namaz, or might be in some fiqh reading Eid namaz is wajib. But the importance is associated because in those occasions there is a big congregation of Muslim community. A lot of people come around because the Muslim congregation, bringing them on one point is the most important, actually, distress in Islam. And look at the Hajj. 3 million to 4 million people every year get together, and they all have different belief. They all have different color. They all belong to different religious, political, or ideology. But still, they're reading namaz and performing ritual. Same, more or less same. And offering their prayer behind one imam. Even though they do not agree with the beliefs, the religious belief this person is having, but they're still showing the unity. And that occasion, that the Hajj, is merely the bodies together. It's the bodies together. Even we're not agreeing, but bodies are together. 3 to 4 million people together. And that becomes the point of worry for the enemies of Islam. Even we're doing nothing, just sitting, just going there for one purpose is the point of worry for the enemies of Islam. Another example, 10th Muharram, about 9 to 8 million people, which is actually telecast by the BBC. That's figures that come from there. So 9 million people on one spot. No other religion, no other political ideology is able to bring 9 million or 4 million people together on a one spot on a one day. It is the only honor and the prestige of Islam. Only Islam is the religion which provides such a provision to communities to get together under one flag. So once we out of the Makkah, we again have our own views, we have our own opinion, and we divert into different direction. We need to keep it continue. We might have differences in beliefs, but still we belong to the mainstream of religion. Either it is Shia, or it is Sunni, or it's Wahhabi, or whatever sect they belong to, the mainstream of religion is the same. And the whole idea is behind here. How we can, it is said that unity is important, but I rarely have heard that how to create unity in a Muslim ummah. What we should do. So we come together here. Now, how are we going to conclude, what provision, what measures we need to take to produce, to facilitate this community? How are we going to do this one? Hardly there is much said on it. There are scattered efforts for this, but not systematic and organized way. And I would like that all the people who has come to express the views about the unity, just to come up some sort of solution, some sort of provision, how we can create community, especially a religious tolerance. You know what is written outside this Imam Barga? It is not because of different beliefs. I think we are meant to have different opinion. Dr. Saab is sitting here. All the consultant heart specialists, they have a different opinion for same procedure, but they still live together. They're not killing each other. What is written outside the Imam Barga, I don't think it is out of any other reason. I think it is because of reduced religious tolerance. We need to have a religious tolerance. We need to understand each other's belief. And how we can do it, in my humble opinion, is to open constructive dialogue. And how we can have a dialogue until we'll come close to each other. And this is the one Umar Farooq has done, that bringing everybody close to each other. Sit together, understand each other, know each other, share your beliefs, share your opinions, and broaden your mind. Bawazi bulantar salawat. May I like to call the President of the Council of Mosque, Rafiq Sehgal Saab, please. Bawazi bulantar salawat. Bismillah.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Sabse pehle, and I think, we'll keep on this sort of English version, and I'll just have to say a few words in Urdu before I finish. First of all, can I congratulate a young man here, Umar, who's actually initiated this program for today, and the Hussainia Islamic Mission for actually supporting that event, and for everybody to have turned up on this event. I think it's a fantastic way of actually showing that we're still strong, we are still united, and we're still sort of on the same platform. And I'd like to congratulate the ulama who have actually supported this. And the message that we need to sort of portray from this platform is that we need to stay united. We need to have a strength is unity. And I think the most important thing is, like the young man said, it's tolerance and acceptance. Accepting other people's way of life while actually preserving your own. When you're accepting somebody else's way of life, you're actually helping yourself to sort of be strong in your faith. So in all honesty, we need to work together on that. There's a lot of misconceptions about Islam and about the religions. I think what we need to differentiate is Islam in the cultural aspect of things. So there's a lot of things which are culturally taught in the way that we live. And I think it's important that we sort of divide both of these things. One of the things, I'll just go on briefly to tell you something about the Council for Mosques. I think a lot of good work has been done between all the schools of thought in Bradford. Council of Mosques is an organization which was set up by our elders. And where we stood here, Hussainia Islamic Mission, they are the participants, and they've been there for 33 years. Council for Mosques was established with all the schools of thought, and we have 90 mosques within Bradford and Keighley who are members of Council for Mosques. So I can tell you that all this work, it's a unique organization in itself. It's something that doesn't exist anywhere around the world, I don't think, where you've got all the schools of thought, different thoughts, under one platform, and we work very closely. And I can tell you the graffiti which was written outside concerned us more than anybody else. I mean, our statements and our officers sat here, Ishtiyaq Ahmed, I mean, drafted a sort of a press release straight away before we actually were approached by the media. We actually had something ready, because what we wanted to show that these acts will not be tolerated within Islam, within the Muslim community. And I think we need to send that message out from this platform. I can give you examples of people within. Sayyid Naqvi Saab was one of the participants who actually initiated the Council for Mosques, the core members of Council for Mosques. Kausar Shah Saab, the late Kausar Shah Saab, Allah Ta'ala bless his soul, he was another. So there's a lot of good work. We've got very close relationship with Liaquat Saab, Shah Saab, which within this organization, and Alhamdulillah also with Hadriya and Bethel Khan. So I think we've got to keep on working, and I think the sort of meetings like the one that we've had today to show unity and strength amongst us all, it's very, very crucial. What we need to do is we need to pass that message on to our youngsters, to say that we need to accept others. We need to accept others' way of life, and you've got to carry on with yours. It will make you a stronger person. And I think in the sense of actually getting that message into the households, it's important that we initiate that and take it, that we need to get that message out to cross within the households for our mothers and for our sisters, because it's very crucial that the women have a very crucial role. Our mothers, our daughters have a crucial role. So we need to have that message, and that message, positive sort of thought within the households. And I'd like to congratulate again the Hussainia Islamic Mission and the young man sat here who's actually initiated this. We welcome that. We will support you wherever we can. We have done in the past. We will, inshallah, carry on supporting you. It's for our own sort of sake. It's for the unity of Muslims, and we've got to sort of send out a positive message. And I think, I can't say more, but I congratulate you more than I can. And I pray that Almighty help us and guide us in the sense of our sort of ambitions. And inshallah ta'ala, I'm sure that we will get there one day, but I think it is a struggle. I mean, it's not easy. I will say there will be hurdles in the way. We've got to carry on working. If we carry on working with like-minded people, I'm sure we will convince others who are sat on the boundary, who are trying to sort of send a negative message out. We've got to work with these people. We've got to work with our youngsters, and I'm sure with our youngsters, inshallah, we will achieve, because the youngsters are our future. We need to work with them. We need to open our doors for them. And from this platform, I can tell you that Council for Mosques Bradford is open for you. If there's any need that arises, and if there's any sort of way we can support you, inshallah, we will support you, and we will be there for you. Finally, I'd like to say that Liaquat Saab's been sat here. I mean, we did offer our support. I said anything that we can do, inshallah, we will do. And thank you very much for that. And I hope that we take a very positive message from this platform and carry on with the hard work and efforts that we've all put through. And I'm sure, inshallah, we will achieve our goals. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rafiq Saigal Saab. We could feel that is coming from your heart. Babaji Bulantar Salawat. Now, may I call our respected guest councillor Shabir Hussain Saab, please, to come on a member. Babaji Bulantar Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa awli.
Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to you all to this event. Before I proceed, I just want to give some apologies from my colleagues, Councillor Nazim Azam, who's a local councillor. He can't be here today, and also from the local MP, Nasha, MP for Bradford West, who's given her apologies because she's in Parliament, but she fully backs and supports tonight's evening, this amazing gathering. We are in the month of Ramadan, so we're really blessed to be here in the last 10 days in the house of Allah to remember him and his Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in this month, but also around an issue which is about unity, and which, as Brother Omar reflected upon on Surah Al-Imran, verse 103, we're actually commanded to strive for unity of purpose and unity of being, and not be divided amongst ourselves. But this is not just about the Muslim community, it's also about the wider community that we live in Bradford. And I wanted to kind of reflect on briefly on the title of the talk, which was about portraying Muslim unity. For me, it's more than just about portraying unity. It's about meaning and living unity on a daily basis, and the challenges, as the speakers have already said, that we face when we're dealing with issues of diversity and unity. And perhaps an analogy would be that of a painting. As a layperson, I would see a painting and maybe appreciate its beauty, but to a scholar of art, they would want to know, why did Van Gogh paint the painting he did, the sunflowers or whichever painting it is, what paint he used, and when did he do it, and what was the painting preceding it, and what was after it. He wants to know the actual crux of the matter, so what's the meaning behind this painting. And so for us, it's important to understand what's the meaning and purpose of unity, where are we going with unity, what is it about. And for me, it's about reflecting the beauty of Islam within society and generally, and the blessings and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in our daily lives. So it's about striving to change something. And I was stuck really as to how to expand upon this further, this notion of unity and what it means, and who's responsible for developing this unity amongst ourselves. Is it organizations? Is it individuals? Who is it? And I was really struck this morning, over the last week or so. And this morning I discovered my answer, and it was staring right in front of me. I've got it with me, and you might think it's trivial, but actually for me it holds a lot of meaning. It's a nail. It's a metal nail from the Indo-Pak continent. I have a friend who's a Muslim art collector. He's the only Muslim art collector I know in Bradford who collects antiquarian books and coins and from Islamic history, etc. And this was actually from the Indo-Pak area, and it was the first nail that went into the wood joist of a house. And on the surface it looks like a nail, but actually it's got verses of the Quran, salawat, inscribed on it. Yeah? So it was there for barakah. This nail was there for barakah. And so what I was reflecting was actually this nail is actually us. We're actually wanting to create, this nail was wanting to create a house into a home, a Muslim home full of barakah. And so for us, we are that nail, we are that point where we can create a community, bringing communities together into one community to have some meaning behind it and to create something which is good. Our house in Bradford, which is a Muslim house, has a lot of broken windows, has a lot of broken doors, has a leaking roof. We have young people in prison. In terms of the proportion of Muslim young men in prison is very, very high. We have broken houses and homes. We have a lot of problems. So who's responsible for building this home, this community of believers? It's actually all our responsibility as individuals. We have a daily responsibility to live with difference, to live with meaning. And that involves a lot of sabr, but also involves, like the other speakers have said, finding out about each other and making opportunities to meet. But also it's about places like this, the masajids, the madrasas, the imam bargahs. It's all about this. It's about developing these further and creating spaces for learning. And another organization that I want to highlight, and I'll finish on that, is the Institute of Muslim Community Development, which is a national organization which seeks to bring about Muslim unity through diverse programming and working at a local level. There's people in this masajid who belong to the Institute of Muslim Community Development who want to work with local communities. So I urge the people here and also other parts of Bradford to work with the Institute of Muslim Community Development to actually bring something about which is about beauty and creating unity amongst ourselves, which is the intra-perspective. And I think that's the easy bit, but also more wider, because we have a role to play in creating a beautiful Bradford. So our connections with our non-Muslim neighbours, our connection with other people is very, very important. So as a councillor, I think it's very important that this step is very important and we need to build upon it. But as a Muslim, I think it's critically important to have survival and future as a Muslim community, that we are united on these issues. Jazakallah khair.
Thank you very much. Bawazi Bulantar Salawat. I have just been asked by my brother just to explain, when I say Bulantar Salawat means send the salawat, blessing on Muhammad and Ali Muhammad loudly, what does it mean? I think it is not something alien to anybody, because our Sunni brothers do send salawat in Tashahhud. They send salawat, blessing on Muhammad, Ali Muhammad and Ali Ibrahim. And that is the indispensable part of all sect in namaz, in tashahhud. We all send it. So we doing the same, then sending salawat loudly on Muhammad and his al. That's all. And this is only the one worship, if you see. And this is irrespective, we Muslim, we Shia, we Wahhabi or whatever. But this is the only ibadat where God shares with us. We read namaz, God does not read namaz. We keep roza, God does not keep roza. We go to Hajj, God doesn't go to Hajj. But this is the only ibadat. Sending blessing on Muhammad, Ali Muhammad or Ali Ibrahim, whatever, is the only ibadat where God shares with us. The God is doing the same what we doing it. But the rest of all the ibadat, God does not share ibadat with his creature. So that's the importance of sending salawat, Ali Ibrahim or Ali Muhammad. Bawaze Bulantar loudly send the blessing on Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. So may I call my respected Mulana Israr Kazmi Saab to express his view on the unity in Muslim Ummah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bawazi Bulantar salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين صاحب الأسر والزمان خليفة الرحمن إمام الإنس والجان اللهم عجل فرجه الشريف صلى الله. أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنما المؤمنون إخوة فأصلحوا بين أخويكم صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Respected scholars, guests, I would like to begin with the Islamic greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And it's so refreshing, mashallah, to see so many youth actually spearheading this initiative and working with the community leaders to bring this program. And I salute Brother Omar and all the youth who are here. If you want to test, the litmus test for a successful centre is the number of youth who stand in the front rows. And mashallah, it's great to see so many youth here because it's you essentially who will be taking this program forward. Can I ask you to recite the salawat, please? I feel I must begin with a very important question. What is meant by Islamic unity? Does it mean that one school of thought should be followed and others ignored? Does it mean to set aside our theological differences that have existed for centuries and combine all the commonalities that exist within each of those schools and create a new denomination? Islamic unity doesn't mean that all denominations should give into one, or that commonality should be taken up and different views disregarded. Yes, we all stand together in the season of Hajj. Our Quran is one. Our point of direction, the Kaaba, the house of Allah, is one. And it's interesting, there is so much unity in multiplicity of schools of thought. And when we look at the word Allah, lafz jalala, it's very interesting that this word does not have a plural. Similarly, when you look at religion, you will find nowhere in the Holy Quran the plural for religion, adyan. Instead, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, Inna dina inda Allah al-Islam. The religion closest to Allah Azza wa Jal is the religion of Islam. So as Muslims, we worship one God. And we find, it's interesting, we find traditions that tell us that days before the passing of our beloved Prophet Ahmed Mujtaba, Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that days before his passing, the companions helped him onto the minbar. And addressing the congregation, he says, and he expresses his concerns. His concerns, not that the Muslims would become polytheists after his demise, but his concerns that we kill each other over worldly desires. All Muslims fast in the month of Ramadan. It's very interesting. We all fast in the month of Ramadan. Rather than focusing on the 28 or the 29 days where we fast together, we will focus on the differences. Which day you started the fast, which day someone else started the fast. Are you celebrating Eid on Friday, or are you celebrating Eid on Saturday, or are you celebrating it on Sunday? I remember a very interesting conversation with a colleague at work. When I mentioned a few weeks ago that I'm starting my fast on Friday, he seemed very surprised. Brother, Friday? How come Friday? I said, listen, it's very interesting because this is something which is explained through logical reasoning, scientific and jurisprudential reasoning. You have scholars who say that the new month is ascertained when a crescent is sighted in the country of residence. Others say that it can be sighted in the country that shares the horizon. Other scholars say it can be, if it's sighted in the countries that share the dome of the night, then this is proof for the other countries. And then you have conditions that say that the crescent should be sighted with the naked eye. Other scholars, when they do their istikhraj, when they do their deductions through the Quranic and the hadith literature, say that you can observe the crescent with an optical aid. Listening to all the different theories by which the ulama from all schools ascertain the new month, he paused. And you know what he said after a pause? He said, that means that everybody is correct. I said, exactly, brother. When you start to say that I am right and you are wrong, you know what that implies? That implies that that person who you're saying is wrong is completely ignorant. He has no evidence from Quran or from Hadith. And therefore it's very dangerous to use that. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So coming to the question, what is Islamic unity? By Islamic unity, it's important to understand that we mean that Muslims should stand up and unite against the common enemy. What is the name of the common enemy? If you switch on the media has different kind of names for the enemy. The enemy not of Muslims only, but the enemy of humanity. The enemy of the creation of Allah. Whether it's takfirism, whether it's jihadism, whether it's Boko Haram, whether it is IS. And it's interesting, their enemies are not just Americans, the British, the French, the Europeans. Their enemies are also Muslims. Muslims who do not agree with their ideology. And that's very dangerous. When you don't agree with somebody's ideology, that it drives you to take somebody's life. And what does the Quran say? That if you take the soul of an innocent person, not a Muslim, not a mu'min, not a Shia, not Ahli Hadith, not Deobandi, not Wahhabi, not Christian, not a Buddhist, if you take the life of an innocent person, it's like as if you have wiped out the whole of mankind. You don't agree with my ideology? I can't cope with that. And what is the result of this? What we are seeing now in Iraq, what we are seeing in Syria, what we saw a few weeks ago with the graffiti written outside on the walls of this holy place. And therefore, it's important to give this message out, because this is going out internationally, globally, to Muslims as well as non-Muslims, that today we unite as Muslims as well as non-Muslims. Because, why? Because these people are enemies of all those people who do not agree with their ideology. It's not only Christians or Jews who were the subject of terror in Tunisia. Muslims also were targeted. So we too as Muslims are also the subject of that very terror that we hear and read about. I'd like to return to the verse that I started with. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخْوَيْكُمْ. Indeed, we, the believers, are brothers. And we should reconcile. And it is the very youth that have gathered today who have organized this event, who will surely take this forward. And I say in the blessed month of Allah, Shahr Ramadan, the month of barakah, the month of rahmah, the month of blessings, this is the great blessing tonight, that we gather on a single platform, united against all those people who are the enemies of the creation of Allah. I will end with a dua. Allahumma asli kulla fasidin min amur al-muslimin. Allahumma ajjil waliyaka al-faraj wal-afiyata wal-nasr waj'alna min a'wanihi wa ansarih. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjil farajah.
There is an announcement regarding the parking car. So somebody actually parked the car in the NHS premises just across the Iftar Salawat. So may I call our respected guest Ali Fadl now? Ali Fadl. Oh yes, is that be okay if you come after Mulana Sahib? That'd be okay. Thank you very much. Yes. So may I call our respected Mulana Imam Qari Asim Sahib to come on a mimbar. Bawazi Bulantar Salawat. Is the noise all right? It's perfectly okay.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Begin in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most kind. We ask, Lord of the heavens and the earth, to shower His blessings on beloved Messenger, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the family and the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's great that so many young people and people who are non-young have gathered here. And really, I'm going to make 3 points in 3 minutes. Given the shortage of time, I have to be somewhere else, unfortunately, and that's why I mentioned. I think the first point, the reason why I'm here, is because what we saw a few weeks ago as to what happened on the walls of this place. The whole concept of takfir has its place in our theology. It has its place in the books of fiqh, but the issue arises when people that don't have the knowledge, when people whose place it isn't to be using terminology, to be dealing with the issues that are only for those who are people of knowledge. Takfir is like a cancer that is potentially going to eat away our community. And it has the potential of, it arises from the concept of that I am somehow, although I don't have the knowledge, I am better than someone else. And as a result, it leads to intolerance. That intolerance leads to hatred, and hatred then potentially can lead to violence and also bloodshed. Just last week, until yesterday, we were marking the Srebrenica Memorial, the genocide that took place 20 years ago. And there were people of the same color, people that belonged to pretty much the same culture, but there were people of different faiths. And as a result, that intolerance led to violence, and violence led to genocide. And we Muslims, at all costs, need to avoid that kind of behavior, because Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, even if you leave everything else aside, Allah's Messenger says, "Al-Muslimu man salim al-Muslimuna min lisanihi wa yadihi." That a Muslim is one, and in different narration it says, from whose hands everyone else, from whose hands and whose tongue everyone else is safe. Now that sets a benchmark for us. It gives us a benchmark to measure against. What kind of Muslim am I if others are not safe from my tongue and from my hands? If we even leave theological debates to a side, and just looking at that concept, that from my behavior, everyone else that I come in contact with, everyone in my neighborhood, everyone that belongs to, that is part of my community, my locality, and also now we live in a global village. People should feel safe from my hands and from my tongue, because that's what my Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says. That was the second point I wanted to make. Third point, I think the point is that how do we take this forward? How do we take this concept of unity forward? Because unity is a word that kind of in itself has become a contentious word. And I tend to differentiate between unity and uniformity. Sometimes that perhaps we get upset when the word unity is used, because we think that it's going to lead to uniformity, and uniformity cannot be achieved because we have so many differences. So it's realizing that the uniformity and unity are slightly different things. We can have our differences, because those differences aren't going to go away. Those differences have existed for centuries, whatever the reason were for those differences. The issue is, how do there are so many things that we share with each other. There are more things that we share with each other than the things that we disagree on or we debate on. And as a result, is making sure that when the enemy is a common enemy, when we have a common enemy, we need to have a common approach to deal with the kind of issues and challenges that our young people are faced with in this country and also throughout the globe now. We pray to Lord of the heavens and the earth that He enables us to appreciate the differences and also appreciate the value in coming together. And may Lord of the heavens and the earth enable us to agree on those things which we have common amongst us, whether we are people of faith and people of no faith. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He accepts all of our humble efforts. Thank you very much for your time.
Bawaz bulantar salavat. I just want to share a single thought with you before I proceed for another speaker to come. I'm just going back to what Maulana Israr Kazmi Sahab said, that there are different theories for the interpretations of the appearance of moon. I just want to ask, back in Pakistan, all Shia, all Muslim live together. In Sunnis, there are Wahhabis, there are Brelvi, there are Deobandi. In Shias, they all live together. But they do one Eid. Apart from the Fatah and the frontier, main cities, they all have one Eid. All Shia Alam together, they sit with them, and all Sunni Alam sit together, and they do one Eid. Is it possible that we have one Eid in UK? I would like to everybody, all speakers and all other dignitaries which can make this happen, request really from my heart and from all the brothers, or everybody wants. We all same. We just want one Eid. Do you agree with me? Can you raise your hand, please? Everybody who agrees with me, we should have one Eid. Narai Takbir, Narai Risalah, Narai Haidari, Bawaze Bulantar Salawat. Allah. I have to extend apology on behalf of Maulana Ali Raza Rizvi, the ex-president of Majlis-e-Shia Ulama, and also Fiaz Mughal, the director of Tel Mama, and Maruf Hussain. These three people, for some reason, they are unable to make today, and I'm just extending apology on their behalf. Now, may I call Mubin Hussain to come on a member, please, to express his views about the unity in Muslim Ummah. Bawazi Bulantar Salawat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Recite Salat Salam again, please. Let me first start by thanking each and every one of you for attending today with this hope of bringing the Muslim community together in an act of unity. Let me further go on to thank the organizers, the Big Iftar, Tal Mama, Love Muhammad, and all the other organizers of today's event for coming together and making the event possible. Bradford Local Council of Mosques, the local councillors. It was with all the support that event today happened. Let me also thank the local masjid, because as Brother Omar mentioned earlier on, we had a series of conversations on what is the need for an event today, on why we need to do such a thing, and it never happened because we were busy with certain things. And then when it happened in Kuwait, we said no more, because this hatred is going in there. And when Brother Omar called me and he said, look, we need to do something, I said, brother, stop. Can you get hold of that masjid in Bradford where they had graffiti? And he said, don't worry, I've got it. And he liaised with the masjid, and from the very start till the very end, the masjid have basically controlled this event and helped this event and supported this event. So congratulations for the masjid and the local people here for making this happen. But we've all had the discussion on unity, and when you speak after so many great speakers, to be honest, literally as the saying is, you speak about the kitchen sink because there's nothing left. Because they've mentioned it all before. We've had some eloquent sweet speakers and they said it very clearly. But one thing I want to mention about this idea of there is a need today. And I believe never has there been a need more than today for this type of unity to exist. I don't have to be a genius here today, and I'm no Islamic scholar, I'm only an activist, but I don't have to be a genius here today to tell you about what is happening around the world. Upon these people, first we had people called Al-Qaeda or the Taliban and Al-Shabaab and Boko Haram, and now we have so-called states and so-called khalifas that turn up once a year or once in their lifetime and proclaim a so-called Islamic state and can go killing willy-nilly whoever they want to kill and proclaim Islam. This is no Islam. And how they have killed people innocently, whether they are Muslim, whether they are non-Muslim, in the name of Islam, and have attempted to hijack Islam, has caused a real problem for Muslims, not just in the United Kingdom, but Muslims worldwide. And this is why there is a clear need for us to come together. Because I will give you my clear view. Yes, foreign policy plays a part in why people go and join people and want to go blow themselves up. Foreign policy may play a part in initiation, but ideology also plays a part. Because if ideology doesn't play a part, then why are they killing the Shias in Iraq? Why are they killing the Shias in Kuwait? Why are they killing the Yazidis and the Sunnis and people who don't believe in their way of Islam? Because for them, the only way of Islam is their way of Islam. And let me tell you, that isn't Islam. And we don't have to say it isn't Islam. We know it isn't. But then on the issue of unity, we all talk about unity, but to be honest, built inside us is an idea of difference. When I was a young man, I actually came to this masjid. I came into this masjid and heard them reciting salawat loudly run out. It's a Shia masjid, go, go, go. This was me who sat at the member today. It's because we are taught that when differences hit us, we don't understand. It's a lack of education. And Imam Sam said it earlier. The problem we have with religion today is we have people who don't understand it, that are out there giving their opinions. I'm not an Islamic scholar. Do not take an Islamic opinion from me. That's how it must be. If you ever get a medical scholar, somebody that's studying to do medicine in his first year, and ask him to do an operation, he can do it for you because he's not doing it for me, because it will go horrific. And that's the principle that is out there. We need our scholars to be able to be leading out there and making these decisions. But that doesn't mean our young people don't have a part to play, because young people are not there just for the next generation. You young people are here for today. I'm 21 years old. I study at university. I pay the same £9,000 tuition fees. We run the same organization. We still work with de-radicalization. We work with Brother Umar and many people on events on making unity. If a 17-year-old, Talaha Asmal from Dewsbury, can go out there misguided and blow himself up, give away his life and take other people's lives in something that he's seen was his big political decision, then if young people are guided, if young people are given a vision, or given a methodology, or given aspects and aspirations, then you know what? Young people can actually make a difference out there. And this is why I appeal to you young people out there today. We need the guidance of those elders that are supporting this event, that are supporting this type of unity, but we also want you to speak up. And yes, in struggles, when you do a struggle, you have to give time. You may have to give up a bit of money, and you have to give up time more than anything else. You can't expect to sit at home on your computer and expect everything happens, because the problem with the Muslim community today is it's not that they don't care. They do care. When Palestine happens, we all gather to the streets. But when a Muslim kills a Muslim, who speaks up? When a Shia masjid in Pakistan is blown up, where are our people standing and demonstrating? When Muslims kill Muslims, we stay silent. And we can no longer do that. We must all come together, because an attack on the mosque is an attack on Islam, be it a Shia mosque or a Sunni mosque. And we've had it very clearly. We look in differences. We forget the 28 days that we fast together. We remember the one day we don't. We forget the days of Ramadan that we spent together. We think about the one day we don't do Eid together. We forget the 18, 19 hours we fast together, and we we forget that, but we remember the 15, 22 minutes that we spend in difference. And today I request all my Sunni brothers today, I stand here as a Sunni. And I say to you today that a lot of the Shia brothers will open their fast slightly later because of their timings. Let's take our kajur, let's open our fast at our time, but let's also wait. Let's not jump for iftar. Are my Sunni brothers in here with me today? Will you support me on that? Because it is about accepting difference. It's about having that tolerance in there. And let me tell you, if you want to talk about Aqidah, we have so much in similarities. If you ask me of Hazrat Ali, I tell you it's of Ghadir. Man kuntu mawlahu fa aliyun mawla. Do we not all have this belief? This is what we have intrinsically. And what IS... And what these groups are doing out there, these ideological death cults, they want to break Islam from the wider communities, from the Christians and the Jews, and also break it on sectarian lines. And I see one of the simple, when I see a signal of Bughz Ali, when I see they turn the face away from Ali, you know these are the Khawarij. And you see these people out there, and these are the people that are blowing themselves up. These are the people that are giving their images out there. But this is why I say today, we've seen around the country, the Muslims are doing a very successful job at interfaith events. They've been to churches, they've been to synagogues. But why is it so hard to do a Sunni Shia iftari? And we've done this today, and it's a successful event. The last thing I want to do is leave you with a message. And this is a small story from the life of Hazrat Imam Zain al-Abidin. We all know what happened in Karbala, and our emotions tell us what happened in Karbala. And you probably know this story as well better than me. I just want to tell it for one reason, and I'll explain at the end. A murderer of Karbala from the army of Yazid left the army of Yazid. And the army of Yazid turned on him. And this murderer fled. He had nowhere to go, so he went to Medina. And he turned up in the house of Zain al-Abidin. Imam Zain al-Abidin, the great grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the son of Imam Hussein. And he turned up at their house. This man was a murderer of this man's father. And such an event that cannot be comparable in history. And he turned up, and Imam Zain al-Abidin fed him. He clothed him. They looked after him, and they took care of him for 3 days. And then he was off. And as he was about to leave, they said to their servant, give this man some food, look after him, make sure he has enough to go on his journeys. And as that man started to walk, his feet started to tremble, because he thought, oh, has he not realized who I am? How, Zain al-Abidin, have you not realized who I am? I'm the murderer of your family. But do you not realize? He turned and he said, oh Zain al-Abidin, you have not recognized me. Imam Zain al-Abidin replied, my Muslim brothers, I recognize you from the plains of Karbala, but that was your kirdar. This is my kirdar. That was your principle. This is my principle. You killed my family, but I still looked after you. So when my Muslim brothers, you ask, why do we have to keep coming out and condemning it? Why do we need to? I tell you, we don't need to. But the kirdar of Imam Zain al-Abidin tells us we should, because our kirdar is better than them. Our principles are better than them. Our values is better than them. So I say, Muslims, the solution is there. You can either pick it. If you want the ummah to be prosperous, then follow the Ahlul Bayt and the Sahaba and the companions and the Prophet ﷺ. And if you don't want to, then follow Yazid, and that is your way. Jazakallah khair.
Yeah. MashaAllah, Mubin. MashaAllah. May God bless you and give tawfiq and saith and health and everything, so you continue to do the same. But I will only add one thing. Once you just mentioned the kirdar of our fourth Imam, but do you think that we should be generous enough today that our Muslim brother come to our home, we should open Roza with them, because they are our guest? I don't know what is religious ruling for that. But because they are our guest, they are our imam, they come to our home, can we show this generosity? I don't know. So I leave it to, it's just a thought I want to share with you. Babazi Bulantar Salawat. May I call Umar Farooq because he wants to make an announcement regarding donations which is given to Hussainia. Babazi Bulantar Salawat. Bismillah.
Just to take 30 seconds of your time, I just want to let you all know and remember this person in your prayers. I have a colleague by the name of Dr. Yasser Al-Saleh who writes for the Al-Watan newspaper in Kuwait. Now, I've been liaising with him, informing him of this event, and he's been telling me that, how pleased they are in Kuwait with regards to seeing this event in the aftermath of what happened, and they have made a donation to Hussainia, and they'd like you all to remember them and the marhumeen from Kuwait. If Maulana Sahib can mention that at the end of this event, in your prayers, that's all I want to say. I don't want to take up too much of your time. The last thing being, Maulana Sahib has mentioned about education. Now, I just strongly advise all those community leaders that are here to carefully look at the literature that our children are reading and are being taught in their Islamic schools. And if certain people from certain countries with certain ideologies are pumping millions and millions and billions of dollars in petrodollars to brainwash our children to kill each other, then that's an ideology that we don't want in this country or in our communities. If we can please go forward with that message and counteract this. Jazakumullah khair.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Babazi Bulantar Salawat. And after what the event, the bomb blast happened in Kuwait, and after that event happened, the government of the Kuwait made the rule that there will be no Shia mosque and there will be no Sunni mosque. Mosque belongs to Allah. So nobody can say that I'm Shia and nobody can say that I'm Sunni. So all mosque has to be mosque and that belongs to Allah. Babazi Bulantar Salawat. May I call our respected guest Ali Fadl to come on a member for his view on the unity in Muslim Ummah. Babazi Bulantar Salawat. So you have just 10 minutes and then we'll
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلوات. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على خير الأنبياء والمرسلين وحبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. Dear brothers and sisters and scholars, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before I even start with whatever little that I have to share with you, I'd just like to congratulate our dear community leader and the activist. I didn't quite catch the name, but I know he's 21 years old and he studies something, and he's here from the Sunni Jama'at. I just really would like everyone to send Allah salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad for his honor. Thank you. Brothers and sisters, the world has become very small, and I'm not a lecturer by nature. I don't do speeches on a very regular basis, so I have just a couple of words here which I'm going to dictate for you, inshallah. It's regarding tolerance, and like I said, the world has become very small. Mass communication, mass travel, economic independence, they've all created a contemporary world in which we as individuals and groups, we no longer can live in isolation from other groups. Not only can we not live in isolation from other groups, but we couldn't have done so even in previous periods. Nations and groups of people who barely knew of each other now see each other's lives and worlds in living color not only live in color, but in real time through television and the internet. Governments who counted on secrecy and on submission just a few years ago now find themselves humbled, bewildered, and even overthrown through mass communications that broadcast their tyrannical natures. And the bravery of those who even resist these governments to the entire world. Regions who thrived in their own economies, racked by volatility as globalism ties the purse strings of world commerce together into complicated knots. These economies, or even these regions who prospered in isolation, are now subject to what? They're subject to globalism ties and economic complications. So the world has become very small, and we are with each other, knowing of, affecting, and interacting with each other more than we have ever done in history. We are not the same. As human beings, yes, we are the same. We're all subject to the universal conditions of human existence, such as uncertainty, such as change, loss, and death. But how we deal with those conditions and what we make of them means they depend in large parts on our distinctive cultures, okay, our backgrounds, our languages, and our histories. Herein lies the differences in the human family. We don't think the same, brothers and sisters. We don't pray to the same gods. We don't choose the same cultural values. We don't even share the specific histories. We interpret the world and ourselves in it in very different ways. So how can we live together? How can we live together? Taking a look at history, have we as human beings ever lived together in a peacefully coexistent nature? For example, have we ever lived with each other for a sustained period of time without seeking to oppress or eradicate each other? So we find a period of time where peaceful coexistence has been sustained over a period of time. We'll then have to determine what factors allowed that coexistence to happen. The conditions, the economic conditions, the political, social, cultural, and so on and so forth. So to find that time of prosperity, we've got to bring it into the contemporary time and to the contemporary conditions. So we find a period of time where peaceful coexistence has been sustained over a period of time. We'll then have to determine what factors allowed that coexistence to happen. The conditions, economical, political, social, cultural, etc. Can that peaceful era of coexistence be transported to the present time? It's a question. We then move on to another important subject called religious tolerance. The potential, this is very important, brothers and sisters, the potential for religious conflict in society is the chief reason why societies that have achieved peaceful coexistence, to any extent they champion religious tolerance as a chief civic virtue. Not only is it a chief civic virtue, but they also implement that virtue into society, culturally and legally. So given the diverse and absolute claims of many religious and many moral traditions, tolerance is really all we can ask of people. Tolerance is what we can ask of people. We cannot, in a truly pluralistic society, expect morally committed or devout people to embrace or to even celebrate practices that they, due to their own differences, due to their own faiths, consider to be sinful, heretical, or even abhorrent. We can't expect them to acknowledge the legitimacy of gods, for example, modes of worship, ways of life they consider to be false. To expect this in the realm of religion is to be fundamentally intolerant. So we cannot advocate. In the name of tolerance, a society that tolerates everything but certain forms of traditional religious or moral conviction. Essentially, coexistence comes down to the individual person himself. Do they really want peace in society? It's a question you don't ask of communities, you don't ask of governments, it's a question, do you as an individual want peace within your society? Do we want peaceful coexistence? Therefore, we must search ourselves and examine our hearts. Are we really committed to living together with people who are different from us? Do we really accept the fact that we as people will never all believe will never believe in the same thing, pray the same way, live the same way, or even act the same, and that we just have to deal with it? Or do we resent these facts on the ground and spend our efforts trying to coerce others to force them into changing to be more like us? Or having given up, maybe we're just giving up on the da'wah and tabligh and trying to get people to be like us. We've just given up totally and say, you know what, let's just isolate ourselves into the sameness and construct the daily arc of our lives so that we don't have to encounter many people who are different from us. Essentially, the issue here is dialogue. I come representing an organization called Love Muhammad. Now, Love Muhammad began a couple of years ago. Initially, what it started off as was an event whereby the Sunni community and the Shia community can come together and celebrate their similarities and dispel their differences. Literally just to celebrate the similarities. What do we celebrate as the similarities? We all know. We all believe in one God. We all believe in one Quran. We believe in the Day of Judgment. We believe in death. We believe in angels. There are a lot of things that we believe that are the same. So therefore, Love Muhammad chose to celebrate these similarities and to bring the two Shia and Sunni communities together in one event. But then something happened, and the key aspect of Love Muhammad developed into something different. Something which is called grassroots development. We not only told Shia and Sunni organizations to do events, but we told them to work together. How many times, I ask a question to the brothers and sisters, how many times do we build our own perceptions of different faiths based on the media? We, even as Shia Muslims, we fall prey to this. For example, we hear about certain slaughters that are happening in Burma or other countries, and we form a perception or an ideology based on what we see on the media. We're the first person to put our hands up and say, oh yeah, we are the victims, Muslims are the victims of the media. But we also build our perceptions on what? Build our perceptions on what we see on the media. How many times, brothers and sisters, do we actually speak to the other members of society, other members of community? We all say, yes, dialogue is important, we must speak to our Sunni brothers, we must come together. But how many times do we actually speak on a friend basis? Friend basis, forget theological debates and stuff. Friend basis, let me befriend you. I don't care if you're Sunni, I don't care if you're Shia. Let me just befriend you. That's what Love Muhammad did. Love Muhammad, as a campaign, they told the Shia organization and the Sunni organization to come together, literally, as one, and make a program celebrating the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There was a scenario or a case. There was a scenario that happened in January, whereby a young Sunni youth, he came to this program. He said, you know what? I understand that the Shia organization and a Sunni organization came together, but I want to come and see what the whole fuss is about. I don't like Shia. I've got a personal perception about Shias. So he came. He came and he saw a Shia speaker speaking about the Prophet, and he saw a Sunni speaker speaking about the Prophet. When he left, he went to one of the organizers and said, bro, I have to apologize to you. The Shia brother said, why? He says, I have to apologize to you because I had a certain perception in my mind of what Shias believe in, but when I came to this event, the whole perception changed. Because I understand that you as human beings, I can get along with you. You as human beings, you're not that different to us. So Love Muhammad, as a campaign, like I said, have developed into making Shia organizations actually work with Sunni organizations to create events. Whatever the event may be, people gave out roses in the name of the Prophet. People made banquets, people made fundraisers, people made, they made trips, they made expeditions. Whatever the case may be, but essentially it's the grassroots development of Love Muhammad campaign that tells the organizations to actually work with each other, to find that common denominator between each other and work together for the greater good of the community. And on that note, I end with the common denominator between Sunnis and Shi'is, and that's the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the poem he says, every day I ask my Lord to send blessings on the greatest of mankind. If they ask why, I tell them whilst man is man, Muhammad's one of a kind. If mankind's good deeds were placed on a letter, by his hand it would be signed. If man were placed on a side of a scale, him on the other you'd find. Crowned by his Lord, the best of creation, brought a mercy against man's destruction. The ship boarded by our own salvation. Muhammad's one of a kind. طرب الزمان بسحر صوت المنشدين بمديح خير الأنبياء الأمجد، وكأنه بلسان حال فؤاده نادى بكل موحد متودد. إن مر ذكر المصطفى، إن مر ذكر المصطفى في محفل أدب الصلاة، أدم الصلاة، أدم الصلاة على النبي محمد صلوات. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
May I call Mulana Arshad Rabi Sahab to conclude the proceeding and for prayer. Babazi Bulantar Salawat.
اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان اللعین الرجیم. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. الحمد للہ رب العالمین والصلاة والسلام علی رسولہ الانبیاء والمرسلین. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. لا اکراہ فی الدین. صلوات. گھبرا کے نہیں، انشاءاللہ مل کے ٹوگیدر نعرہ صلوات. اللہم صلی علی محمد. ماشاءاللہ بہت خوبصورت پروگرام اور بڑی اچھے طریقے سے ہر مقرر نے، ہر خطیب نے آ کے یونٹی کی بات کی ہے، اور یقینی بات ہے یونٹی ہونی بھی چاہیے اور یونٹی ہے بھی. تو کیونکہ 32 منٹس پہ اہل سنت والجماعت کا روزے کا افطاری کا ٹائم ہے، میرے پاس اب 3 منٹ باقی ہیں، تو انشاءاللہ انشاءاللہ 3 منٹ میں ہی میں اپنی بات کو ختم کر دوں گا، اور بہتر اسی میں ہے. اور آپ جو آپ کے اپنے شیعہ اپنے ٹائم پہ روزہ کھولیں، سنی اپنے ٹائم پہ روزہ کھولیں، جذبات میں آ کے اپنے عقیدے اور اپنے سسٹم کو خراب نہ کریں. ٹھیک ہے، مہربانی. اور میری بھی خوبصورت آواز ہوتی فاضل صاحب کی طرح تو آپ جھوم جھوم کے ماشاءاللہ مزہ لے رہے. شیعہ سنی دونوں میں نعتیں پڑھنے والا اچھا ہو یا قصیدے پڑھنے والا اچھا ہو تو ماشاءاللہ. بس دیکھیں، اسلام کے 2 ٹوین جڑواں بیٹے ہیں، ایک کا نام ہے سنی، ایک کا نام ہے شیعہ. اسلام نہیں چاہتا کہ یہ دونوں بیٹے لڑیں. کوئی باپ چاہتا ہے لڑیں؟ نہیں چاہتا. اور دونوں بیٹوں سے ایک بہت بڑی مسٹیک، بہت بڑی غلطی ہوتی ہے، اور دونوں کے پاس 2 چیزیں ہیں. سنی کے پاس بھی اور شیعہ کے پاس بھی 2 چیزیں ہیں. سنی کے پاس بھی ممبر ہے اور مصلی ہے، شیعہ کے پاس بھی ممبر ہے اور مصلی ہے. دونوں کو دیکھنا تھا، لک آفٹر کرنی تھی تاکہ اپنی پوری زندگی اسلام پر گزر جائے. دونوں شیعہ نے بھی سنی نے بھی ایک چیز پکڑ لی ہے، ایک چیز بازاری لوگوں کے حوالے کر دی ہے. سنی لوگ جو ہیں ان کا مسلح ان کے کنٹرول میں نہیں ہے. جو ایرا گیرا آتا ہے وہاں کھڑے ہو کے نماز پڑھا لیتا ہے. شیعہ لوگوں کے پاس ممبر کنٹرول میں نہیں ہے. جو بھی بازاری زبان رکھتا ہے, جذباتی الفاظ رکھتا ہے, وہ ممبر پر کھڑے ہو کے کہنا شروع کر دیتا ہے. وہاں مسلح کنٹرول میں نہیں. مسلح بھی رسول کا, ممبر بھی رسول کا. سنیوں نے مسلح کا حیا نہیں کیا اور شیعوں نے ممبر کا حیا نہیں کیا. معافی کے ساتھ آج ہمیں یہ دن دیکھنا پڑ رہے ہیں. اور حضرت خمینی صاحب رحمۃ اللہ علیہ, وہاں ایک شکایت ہوئی کہ جناب آج کل اس ولیج میں, اس گاؤں میں چوریاں بہت ہو رہی ہیں, تو چور بھی نہیں پکڑا جاتا. انہوں نے کہا چور پکڑنے کی ضرورت نہیں ہے, وہاں کے مولوی کو پکڑ کے لاؤ, وہاں کے مولانا کو چینج کر دو, اس شہر میں امن ہو جائے گا. خدا کے لیے جتنا بھی یہ اسلام کو غلط طریقے سے استعمال کیا ہے, یہ ممبر پر اور مسلح پر مولوی نے استعمال کیا ہے. آپ لوگوں کا قصور صرف اتنا ہے کہ آپ اس کا حیا کرتے ہوئے, اس کا احترام کرتے ہوئے مولانا کا, آپ کرتے کیا ہو؟ خاموشی اختیار کر لیتے ہو. خاموشی نکاح کے وقت عورت کے لیے بہتر ہوتی ہے, باقی کسی کے لیے بہتر نہیں ہوتی. لہذا برائے مہربانی آپ سے ریکویسٹ ہے, سنی ہو سنی رہو, شیعہ ہو شیعہ رہو, لیکن کم از کم جو مسلح اور ممبر پر غلط انسان آتا ہے اس کی تائید نہ کرو, جرت پیدا کرو. مسلمان وہ ہوتا ہے جس کے اندر دو چیزیں کم از کم بر وقت کام کریں, جرأت اور غیرت. آج کل وہ دونوں مرتے چلی جا رہی ہیں. بار کیا وقت ہو چکا ہے, باتیں بہت تھیں, ان تمام کو ختم کر کے کویت میں پچھلے جمعے ایک مولانا اٹھے, انہوں نے خطبہ دینا چاہا اور انہوں نے کہا جناب کہ شیعہ فلاں شیعہ فلاں شیعہ فلاں شیعہ فلاں. تو ساری عوام نے روکا, کسی مولوی نے آ کے نہیں روکا کیونکہ مولوی ایک ہی تھا وہاں. عوام نے روکا کہ اسی وقت یہاں سے نکل جاؤ, آپ کا خطبہ سننا ہی نہیں ہے. کیا وجہ ہے کہ شیعہ کافر کافر کے نعرے لگتے ہیں سنی مسجدوں میں؟ رسول مسلمان بنانے آئے تھے اور ہم لوگ جو ہیں وہ کافر بنانے آتے ہیں. ہم مولوی بنتے ہیں کافر بنانے کے لیے. تو کیوں نہیں ایک مسلمان اٹھ کے کھڑا ہوتا, کہتا خبردار مولانا, آپ نے وہ لا الہ الا اللہ محمد رسول اللہ پڑھتے ہیں, 5 وقت نماز پڑھتے ہیں, قرآن ایک ہے, کلمہ ایک ہے, رمضان میں وہ بھی روزے رکھتے ہیں. ہمیں خود غیرت کھانا پڑے گی, ہمیں خود اسٹینڈ اپ ہونا پڑے گا. مومن کرام, جب تک ہم اسٹینڈ اپ ہوں گے یہ مسئلہ حل ہونے والا نہیں ہے. آخری بات کہ بہت اچھی بات ہے کہ بھائی نے مسئلہ ینگسٹر نے, کہ جہاں بھی دیکھو شیعوں کو مارا جا رہا ہے. اب یہاں بھی شیعوں کے خلاف جناب 14 سال کے بچے کو باہر کھڑا کر کے ایک بندہ پہ یہ سمجھا رہا تھا اور دوسرا جو وہ لکھ رہا تھا کافر کافر شیعہ کافر. بلکہ یہ بہت ہی غلط کام ہوا ہے. ہم مرے نہیں ہیں, ہم جواب ان لفظوں میں بھی دے سکتے ہیں, لیکن جو ریئل اسلام ہے, جو رسول کا اسلام ہے, وہ نہیں کہتا ہے کہ اگر تمہیں کوئی کافر کہے تو تم بھی اسے کافر کہو. وہ اسلام یہ کہتا ہے اس سے پیار کرو, محبت سے سمجھاؤ اسے, اور ہم آپ کو سمجھا رہے ہیں. آپ کو غلط کسی نے انفارمیشن دی ہے, آپ کو غلط تعلیم دی ہے, آپ اس تعلیم سے باز آ جائیں, ورنہ یہاں تو دنیا میں عیش کر کے, دنیا میں باتیں کر کے چلے جاؤ گے, لیکن کیا کرو گے جب قبر میں اکیلے ہوگے؟ کس کو منہ دکھاؤ گے؟ خدا کے لیے سنی اور شیعہ سب کو, ہر عالم کو, ہر انسان کو اپنی اپنی ذمہ داری کا احساس کرنا پڑے گا, اور انشاءاللہ وہ دن دور نہیں ہے کہ ہم ایک ہو جائیں گے. کام شروع ہو چکا ہے, کیونکہ یہ جو پھوڑا, جو کینسر تھا, اب پھٹ چکا ہے. اب جیسے خمینی صاحب نے انقلاب لانے کے لیے 20 سال محنت کی تھی, ہم لوگوں کو محنت کرنا پڑے گا. اپنے چھوٹے چھوٹے بچوں کو صحیح لٹریچر پڑھانا پڑے گا, صحیح ان کو تاریخ پڑھانا پڑے گی, صحیح قرآن کا ترجمہ پڑھانا پڑے گا. انشاءاللہ 10-20 سال کے بعد جو ہے یہ یونٹی ہوگی. جو مرضی کر لیں, اور یہ سارا پیچھے جو ہاتھ ہے نا, نہ سنی کرپٹ ہے نہ شیعہ کرپٹ ہے, پیچھے ہاتھ ہے ان لوگوں کا جو اسلام سے خائف ہیں. اب اویئرنیس بہت پیدا ہو چکی ہے, یہ اویئرنیس کی بہت بڑی مثال ہے, اور انشاءاللہ ایک دن آئے گا یہ یورپ میں سارے مذاہب ختم ہو جائیں گے, صرف اسلام کا جھنڈا لہرائے گا پوری دنیا میں. اب یہ دنیا خوف کھا رہی ہے, یہ آپ کے سامنے ہے. پوری دنیا میں جہاں جہاں مسلم کنٹری ہے وہاں ہی قتل ہو رہے ہیں, وہاں ہی جنگ ہے, وہاں کے حکمران کرپٹ ہیں, باقی کوئی کرپٹ نہیں ہے. انشاءاللہ عنقریب آپ کو دن دیکھنا پڑے گا اب جو سرمایہ کاری کا دور تھا نا وہ ختم ہو چکا ہے. بڑی بڑی حکومتیں جو ہے وہ انشاءاللہ ملیامنٹ بینکرپٹ ہو چکی ہیں اور جو باقی بچ گئی ہیں وہ بھی ہو جائیں گی. تو آپ نے اپنے صبر کا دامن نہیں چھوڑنا اور پراپر اسلام کو سمجھ کے ایک دوسرے سے پیار کریں, شیعہ سنی کے ساتھ محبت کے ساتھ. اور میں شکر گزار ہوں کونسل فار ماسک کا, شکر گزار ہوں بھائی عمر عبداللہ کا, شکر گزار ہوں اور تمام دوستوں کا. شبیر صاحب بھی آئے, سب سے پہلے کونسل فار ماسک نے ہمیں ہمدردی کا فون کیا اور باقاعدہ انہوں نے میڈیا کے اوپر بہت بہترین ایک خوبصورت طریقے سے بیان دیا. اور یہ بہت بڑی مثال ہے, اشتیاق صاحب ہوں, بھائی سیگل صاحب ہوں, جو بھی ہوں, اور تمام یہ نہ کہیے گا کہ سارے سنی دوستوں کا شکریہ ادا کیا, ہم شیعوں کا کیا ہی نہیں ہے. نہیں, تمام دوستوں کا شکریہ ادا کرتے ہیں. انشاءاللہ ہم ٹوگیدر رہیں گے, اکٹھے رہیں گے انشاءاللہ. اگر آپ تمام حضرات کو یہ چیز پسند آئی ہے تو مل کے نعرہ تکبیر. نہیں, کافی حضرات تشریف فرمائے, میں نے اور کچھ نہیں پڑھنا. شروع میں نعرے لگواتے ہیں نا, میں آخر میں لگوا رہا ہوں. نعرہ تکبیر, نعرہ رسالت, نعرہ رسالت. غدیر کے مقام پر مولا علی کا ہاتھ بلند رسول نے کیا تھا. سنی ہو تب بھی, شیعہ ہو تب بھی, بلند ہاتھ کر کے نعرہ حیدری. اب بہت سارے ہاتھ نیچے بھی, کیا بات ہے, وہ سنیے شیعہ دونوں میں سے خارج ہے. نعرہ حیدری. اور دعا گو کہ رب کائنات ہم سب کو توفیق دے کہ ہم ایک دوسرے کا ساتھ دے سکیں اور اسلام کا اور مسلمان ہو کر کے ایک دوسرے سے پیار کرنے کی توفیق عطا فرما. شیعہ سنی کو ایک دوسرے کے ساتھ ایک دوسرے کے دکھ درد میں شریک ہونے کی توفیق عطا فرما. یا اللہ, جو لوگ ہمیں اس طریقے سے کافر یا سلسلہ کر رہے ہیں, مالک اگر وہ قابل ہدایت ہے تو انہیں بھی ہدایت عطا فرما. اگر وہ قابل ہدایت نہیں ہے تو ہم تیری بارگاہ میں یہ کیس پیش کرتے ہیں. تو احکم الحاکمین ہے, عادل العادلین, سب سے بڑا جج تو ہے, پالنے والے, اس کا تو فیصلہ فرما. اور مل کے بآواز بلند صلوات اللہم صلی علی محمد. بہت شکریہ. تو جو سنی دوست ہیں ان سے ریکویسٹ ہے, کھجوریں بھی, ڈرنک بھی, پانی بھی, جوس بھی موجود ہے. آپ اپنا وقت پہ روزہ کھول سکتے ہیں. تو نماز انشاءاللہ افطاری کر کے جائیں. آپ کے لیے کھانے کا بھی اہتمام کیا گیا. بہت شکریہ, بہت مہربانی. اللہ آپ کو جزا دے.